In the United States, especially, and in the West generally, we have a model of self where the self is kind of like an avocado, right? And we have a pit inside of us. The pit is our self, our essence, our identity. It is the thing to which we must, above all, be true. And of course, very importantly, we see that pit as unique. So that everything we do, we want to show, to reflect that pit, to reflect that self, and we want it to be unique. In Asia, people frequently have a flexy self. So it's a different kind of self. It is a self that's oriented more to duty than to rights, for instance. And very importantly, it does not have a cultural mandate to be different and to be unique. People in the East are not all alike. So if you looked at my family, like, believe me, every single person is very, very different. And that is true, of course, throughout Asia. The difference is not how different we are from one another. The difference is how much significance do we attach to that difference? In other words, do we think it's very important to differentiate ourselves from others? So if you ask, are they individuals? Of course they're individuals. Are they different? Of course they are different. But of course, for them, it's like, well, of course I'm different. Why would I make a big deal of that, right? And they think it is very peculiar that in the West that we feel that we must, differentiate ourselves from others endlessly, right? So one of the ways that we do that, of course, is through choice. Choice in the West is very, very important. Everyone is always making choices. And honestly, a lot of those choices make us a little anxious. So when they do the studies where you are just sitting in an empty room and you're making a choice and you come from a more individualistic culture, you actually show signs of a little anxiety. Every little choice that you make, even in private, because it's defining of who you are, is a little loaded. They feel like they just choose, In other words, when they make those choices, it doesn't have this overlay. And that's one of the reasons they feel that actually we are less free than they are, So they think that we are the ones who are kind of in this prison where, like I say, every moment we must define ourselves. Well, isn't that awful, right? And, and of course, the way that we live, we feel that, we want to be freely electing to live the way that we live, right? And so even when we're doing things like taking care of the elderly, for example, we want to feel that that it is an extension of our great love and the nature of our being to be able to take care of the elderly. Well, the other day I was having dinner with somebody who said, I just don't feel that, and it's just very, very hard. So somebody from a more flexy self or interdependent culture would say, it's just your duty. And so for them, it's like, they have their elderly parent. They just go take care of the elderly parent because that's their duty. For them, this is really liberating. You just go do it. And you don't expect there to, it's the expression of yourself. It's just what people do. From their point of view, we have made things very, very hard for ourselves to demand that, that everything should be an expression of our inner nature.